Hello children, welcome to the digital class of Social Studies. Today we shall learn about an interesting topic which is the 6th unit in your textbook. So children, let me ask you one question. Do you know how many continents are there in the world? Yes, so there are 7 continents in the world. Look at the map here. Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. So these are the continents of the world. So now today we shall discuss about one of the continent from the world. So children, shall we play a game now? Are you all curious to play the game? Right. Children, I will give you some hints. You must guess the name of the country or the continent which we are going to discuss today. Are you all ready? Right. So here is the first hint. The country which lies west of India. So you need to name the country which lies west of India. Okay. Let me give you the second hint now. This is the second hint. It is the largest desert in the world, that is Sahara Desert. So in which country is Sahara Desert located? Yes, any guesses? Right. Let me give you another hint now. Children, there are certain wild animals which are not found in our country, and rare animals are found only in this continent. So identify the rare animals which are found in this continent and guess the answer, right? Look at the pictures here. This is hippopotamus, lion, the king of jungle, male greater kudu, cheetah, the fastest animal, sable antelope, giraffe, the tallest animal, ostrich, woodland kingfisher, and so on. So now you need to guess the continent, right? And here is the last hint for you. The largest gold and diamond mines are located in this continent. So can you say the answer now? Yes, you are right. That is Africa. Look at the city of Africa. Isn't it beautiful? Right. So today we are going to discuss about Africa, the second largest continent of the world. Are you all ready? Here we go. Africa is a cradle of humankind. Human beings evolved in Africa and then moved to other countries. Okay, did you understand? Fine. So let us see the learning outcomes of this chapter. By the end of the chapter, you will be able to explain physical features of Africa, analyze the climatic conditions of Africa, locate the different zones on the map of Africa, classify different types of vegetation and different types of minerals found in Africa, explain about the people of Africa and emphasize European colonies in Africa. Okay, now let's have a quick mind mapping of this chapter. Children, this chapter is divided into 2 parts. In the first part, today we are going to discuss about Africa, a vast plateau, climate of Africa and people of Africa. So the second part will be discussed later. Okay, are you ready now? Here we go. So let's start with Africa, a vast plateau. So why is Africa referred to as plateau continent? Africa is called the plateau continent because almost the entire continent is raised above sea level and drops sharply off at the coast. So Africa is called as continent because almost the entire continent is raised above sea level. Okay, did you understand? And only the edges, very small edges, are seen at the coast. So let us learn the continent Africa in detail. This is the relief map of Africa. So children, let us now understand about the relief features of Africa. First, let us see what are the rivers, lakes, mountains, plateaus, etc. located in Africa. So are you ready now? Yeah. First, let us learn about rivers. This is river Nile and this is river Niger, then river Chad, river Volta, river Congo, river Zambezi, and so on. So these are the rivers in Africa. Now tell me, do you know which is the largest lake in Africa? Yes, it is Lake Victoria. Look at the image. This is Lake Victoria. It is in Tanzania, right? And we have Lake Tanganyika and also Lake Nyasa. So these are the lakes in Africa. Then what about mountains? How many mountains are there in Africa? There are 2 mountains, the Atlas Mountains in the north and Mount Kilimanjaro in the east. Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest peak in Africa. Remember this point, children, because I am going to ask you when we do the activity, right? Then tell me about the deserts. Africa is famous for the desert, right? So which is the largest desert in the world? Sahara Desert. Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert in the world. And there is also another desert in Africa, that is Kalahari Desert. Okay, did you understand? Right. Africa is surrounded by oceans and sea also. Let us look at the oceans and sea. So this is the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea. Remember these points also, the Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so these are the relief features of Africa. Hope you have understood. Now look at the relief map of Africa. Here you can see different colors on the map, right? So what are the colors? Can you identify? Yes, there is green color. Green color represents plains. Plains extend from 0 to 200 meters. Can you see the plains here? All this green color, they represent plains. Okay. Then plateaus. Plateaus are light brown in color. They extend from 200 to 1000 meters. Okay. So the plateau regions are light brown and they extend from 200 to 1000 meters. Then hills. Hills extend from 1000 meters and above. Okay. Remember all these things. Now let's do an activity. Answer the questions. What is the height of narrow coastal plains? Come on children, tell the answer. Very good. It is 0 to 200 meters. What is the height of a major portion of the plateau? Yes, it is 200 to 1000 meters. The height of the high plateaus in the south and east of Africa is, it is 1200 to 1500 meters. Okay, and in the north are the dash mountains. Can you tell the mountains which are present in the north? We have already learnt now. Very good. It is the Atlas Mountains. Then, which is the highest peak in Africa? Yes, we have discussed. Right. It is Mount Kilimanjaro in the east of Tanzania. Right. Did you understand? Very good. Now let's move on to the next part. Let's have a brief understanding about Sahara Desert. Sahara Desert. There is a region where there are no rivers and the climate in Sahara Desert is very hot. Yes, and the rainfall is very less, very scanty. Scanty means less. Okay. So see here, this is Sahara Desert. This is a map of Sahara Desert, Africa map. You can see Sahara Desert here, and the only river which flows through Sahara Desert is river Nile. So, river Nile is the only river which crosses Sahara Desert. And river Nile also passes through Egypt. So, Egypt is able to cultivate the lands, irrigate the lands because of river Nile. So, river Nile helped Egypt from thousands of years to irrigate the lands. Okay, did you understand? Okay, now this picture is the original picture of Sahara Desert. Can you see here? Okay, very good. Now, let's move on to the next part. Do you know which is the largest freshwater lake in Africa? We have already discussed about it. Freshwater lake. What is it? Yes, it is Lake Victoria. See the picture? This is Lake Victoria. Can you see? Yes. And river Nile originated from Lake Victoria. Okay. So, the river which flows in Sahara Desert is river Nile. It originated from Lake Victoria. And look at the map. This is the location of Lake Victoria in Tanzania. Okay. Am I clear? Fine. Next, let's identify Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn on the world map. Look at the map, children. Now, identify Tropic of Cancer. Very good. This is Tropic of Cancer. And locate Tropic of Capricorn. Yes, this is Tropic of Capricorn. Then, in between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn lies equator, right? Now, observe the map carefully and tell me, does equator passes through the middle of any other continent? Observe equator here. Can you see equator? Yes. If you see the equator, it passes through the middle of African continent. Can you see? Yes. Does it pass through any other continent like that? No. It does not pass through any other continent. And see the speciality of African continent. Tropic of Cancer, equator and Tropic of Capricorn pass only through African continent. Am I clear? Okay, very good. Let's move on to the next part of the chapter. So, this is climate of Africa. Now, let's see the climate of Africa. Look at the world map. As I told you, the equator passes through the middle of the continent. Can you see the line here? This is equator and divides the continent into two parts. That is northern part and southern part. Now, what is it we are going to learn here? Climate of Africa. Now, look at this map. Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. In between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn is equator. This is also known as equatorial region or tropical zone, right? And so, how is the climate here? It is very hot because sun's rays fall directly on the equator, right? So, these regions in Africa are the hottest regions in the world. Okay, can you see this? Yes. Then, there is no winter in this region, right? Now, let us see temperate zones. Temperate in the north and temperate in the south. Both these regions experience summer as well as winter. So, this is the climate of Africa. Hope you have understood. Okay, let's move on to the next part, that is distribution of rainfall. Let us see how rainfall is distributed in the entire continent of Africa. Alright, see, look at this map. Can you see different colors here? Yes, the blue color indicates heavy rainfall and green color indicates medium rainfall and the brown color indicates very less or low rainfall. So, can you guess these regions? Okay, we will learn in detail now. See, let's start with heavy rainfall, right? Regions of heavy rainfall. As we have already discussed, equator passes through the middle of African continent, right? A large part of Africa on both sides of the equator receives heavy rainfall. So, this is equator. On both the sides, they receive heavy rainfall. That is the blue region, right? So, what are the regions which receive heavy rainfall? Central Africa and Western Africa. This whole part is Central Africa and this is Western Africa. Okay. So, these regions have dense forests due to heavy rainfall and warm climate. So, how is the climate here? It is warm and forests are very thick forests. Dense forest means thick forest, right? So, this is heavy rainfall region. Now, let's move on to the moderate rainfall. Moderate means medium. Okay. So, let us see. Due to moderate rainfall, tall grasses grow in this region. So, this is the region of moderate rainfall. Moderate means medium. And what type of plants grow here? Grass. Very tall grass grow here, right? And in some places, these grasses are so tall that even elephants can hide in them. Yes, we will see them later now. Then, some trees also grow between the grasses. These regions are known as savanna. Okay. Now, let me show you the image of grasslands in Africa. Look at the image. See, as I told you, the grass are so tall that even elephants can hide in the grass. Yes, did you understand? Fine. Now, these are savanna grasslands. What are savanna? That is, in between the grass, small trees grow. Fine. So, these are savanna grasslands. Remember these points, children. Okay. So, now what is the next region? It is low rainfall region or scanty rainfall region, or it is also known as arid region, that is desert area. So, desert area, they receive very less rainfall, isn't it? Fine. See, a very large part of Africa is extremely arid. What is arid? It is dry. Arid means dry. Fine. Rainfall is scanty or there is no rainfall at all for several years. Almost half of the northern part of Africa is an arid region. This is the northern part of Africa and almost the entire northern part is an arid region, that is desert region. So, now can you guess the region which is arid? Yes, it is Sahara Desert. Can you guess the type of vegetation here? Yes, let me help you. Thorny bushes, short grasses and so on. This is a type of vegetation, the plants which grow in the desert region. Now, look at the vegetation. Vegetation in arid regions. Let us see, as I told you, thorny bushes. Thorny means, you know, mullu. We say in Telugu, mullu. Yes, these are cactus which grow only in desert regions, right? So, and these are some other plants which grow in the arid regions. These thorny bushes, they protect themselves from the wild animals. Okay? And transpiration of water from the bushes, right? Because it is a very hot region. Oh, fine. Next, in some places, we can see sand, sandstones, bare hills, pebbles, etc. And so, this is all about Sahara Desert or the arid region. Now, children, if you recollect the map of Africa, I have told you about another desert. What is it? Yes, it is Kalahari Desert. Look at the picture here. This is Kalahari Desert and the animals, some of the animals which are found here are meerkat, oryx gazella and so on. So, this is Kalahari Desert. Hope you have understood. Shall we move on to the next part? Yes. That is different types of vegetation on Africa map. Look at Africa map. Here we can see different types of vegetation. So what are the vegetations found here? So this is equatorial forest. So this region is called as equatorial region and the vegetation is equatorial forest. And there are broadleaves and grass. These are broadleaves and grass. They receive heavy rainfall. And this is savanna. Savanna are the grass with small trees. Then there are soft grass also. Soft grass of high plateaus. Then mountainous vegetation and desert vegetation. So these are the vegetation in African continent. Am I clear? Fine. Now let's move on to the another activity now. What type of vegetation is found in these zones? You need to match A and B. Zone of heavy rainfall. What is the type of vegetation here? Very good. It is equatorial forest, broadleaf trees and grass. Zones of moderate rainfall. The type of vegetation is savanna. And zones of scanty rainfall is? Tell me the type of vegetation. Good. It is desert vegetation. Yes? Yeah. Now let's move on to the next part of our chapter. Very important part here. And this is the people of Africa. Do you know the people of Africa, where they lived, what is their occupation and all? Let's learn now in detail. Right? Are you ready now? Let's go. Where did people of Africa live? Since ancient times, people lived in small tribes, carrying out hunting, gathering, animal husbandry and agriculture. So they lived in small tribes. And what is their occupation? Hunting, gathering, agriculture and so on. So where did hunters live? Hunters lived in equatorial regions and deserts. So, and what are pastoralists? Pastoralists are the people who use land to keep and graze animals. So pastoralists, they lived in the regions of high plateau and savanna, because savanna are grasslands. So for grazing like sheep, goat and all, they make them to eat the grass of these grasslands. So hence they lived in those regions. Did you understand? Very good. Then now look at this map. Children, do you have any idea about how to go to Africa? Now, about 500 years ago, Europeans, they tried to reach Africa. See, those days we don't have aeroplanes and all. The only way to go to any country is through ship. Yes, through sea, isn't it? So now let us see how the other countries reached Africa. Yes, look at the map here. This is the coastal line. Can you see? The coastal areas. So, most of the countries from distant places, they used to come to the coastal areas of Africa to do trade. Trade means business, okay? Other than that, they did not know anything about Africa, right? Europeans wanted to reach Africa. So, how can one reach Africa from Europe? Look at the map here. This is Europe and this is Africa. Now, let me explain about the three countries, that is Europe, India and Africa. Suppose Europe want to reach Africa. How did it go? Like it has to cross one sea. If you remember, in the northern part of Africa, there is one sea. Can you name the sea? Very good. It is Mediterranean Sea. So, Europeans have to cross Mediterranean Sea to reach Africa. Then what about India? India has to cross Indian Ocean. Right? Did you understand till here? Okay. Apart from coastal areas, neither the Europeans nor the Indian or Arab traders had much knowledge about the interior parts of Africa. No other country did not know anything about interior part of Africa. What was inside Africa? Because they did not dare to go there. That's why Europeans called Africa as a dark continent. So, because they did not explore Africa, that's why it is known as dark continent. Okay? And why they did not explore? Because there is the largest desert in Africa, that is Sahara Desert. So that was a natural barrier for the other countries to enter Africa. Okay, did you understand? Good. Now let's move on to the next part. See, these are Europeans. Yes, about 500 years ago, Europeans, they wanted to reach India. Okay, they wanted to reach India. Now look at the world map here. Where is Europe? Here. Europe is located in this place and India is here. Fine. Now if they want to reach India, how did they go? They have to pass through sea and they had to go around Africa. Okay. They need to go around Africa to reach India. Fine. So, now look at this. After reaching Atlantic Ocean, Europeans used to stop over two islands. What are the two islands where they stopped? Azores and Madeira. These are the two islands where Europeans stopped. But they did not dare to go to the south of these regions because they thought that towards the south of these islands, it may be very hot. It would be boiling. The sea would be boiling. So that's why the Europeans never dared to go beyond these islands. Okay. Then who was the first person to reach India through sea? Yes, it is Vasco da Gama. He was the first person who went around the southern tip of Africa and reached India. Okay, remember this? Yes, now let us see how they reached. Look at the map here. This is known as Cape of Good Hope. Look this image. This is Cape of Good Hope. Cape of Good Hope is the southernmost tip of African continent. Yes, Europeans did not dare to reach this part. Right? So, who reached? Vasco da Gama. Then, how did he travel? Look at the map here. The blue line. See, like this, they crossed Atlantic Ocean and here they reached Cape of Good Hope and from here they traveled to India. So, this is how all Europeans could reach India for trade. Okay? Am I clear? Isn't it interesting, children? Fine. So, this is Cape of Good Hope. Fine. Now, we have come to the end of the part 1 of Africa. Let's have a quick recapitulation of what we have learnt today. Today, we have discussed about why Africa is referred as a vast plateau, climate of Africa, vegetation in Africa, the people of Africa. For better understanding of the concepts, solve the worksheets. Please visit the official website of SCRT to solve the worksheets. Hope you have understood the chapter Africa, that is the first part of Africa. Have a nice day. Thank you.